and welcome to another edition of the United Point of View, where we discuss the latest news from Manchester United. So let's get right into it. We'll start off today with the news about Paul Pogba. The headline reads, Manchester City could make a move to sign France midfielder from rivals Manchester United. It's a bit snaky from Pogba if this is true. So Manchester City could make a move for Paul Pogba when his contract runs out at Manchester United this summer. City boss Pep Guardiola is looking for central midfield reinforcements, given veteran Fernandinho plans to leave the club at the end of the season. City have already ruled themselves out of making an offer for West Ham's Declan Rice, given the likely transfer fee in excess of 100 million. Well, United will probably take that up, to be honest. But the lack of a transfer fee makes Pogba a more attractive proposition. Even with the inconsistency, who knows? Pogba's situation is slightly more complicated following the death of his longtime agent Mino Raiola last weekend, but he is bound to be of interest to many of Europe's top clubs, despite form and injury issues that have blighted his time at United. If the France star was to make a move across Manchester, it would be similar to Carlos Tevez rejecting United's offer of turning his loan spell with them into a permanent switch in 2009 and then joining City. Who remembers that snaky fiasco? Well, I do. Right, so moving on to more news. Headline reads, Manchester United, Ralf Rangnick's plea for a strike in January snubbed by the club. I mean, this issue here, and I'm sure everyone will agree, and this is what everyone's been saying online and on Twitter, it is definitely the board's fault. It's the board who is to blame, 100%. I mean, look at the state of us now. Well, carrying on with this story, Manchester United snubbed Ralf Rangnick's plea to bring in a new striker on the January transfer deadline day. The German interim boss said, United loaned Anthony Martial to Sevilla, Edinson Cavani was struggling with an injury, and Mason Greenwood was unavailable for selection, and we all know why. Rangnick has highlighted a few strikers who moved in the window. The answer at the time was no. There's no player on the market that can really help us, he said. I still believe we should have tried in those 48 hours, said Rangnick. The board sees it the same way. They agreed. But they also spoke to the scouting department at the time, at the same time as me, and the answer was no. How ridiculous is that? Martial moved to Sevilla on the 25th of January, while Greenwood had been absent since his arrest on the 30th of January. Greenwood, who's 20, is to remain on bail until mid-June over allegations he raped and assaulted a young woman. Cavani, who signed a new one-year deal in May 2021, has made just 18 appearances for United this season. I mean, it's a bit ridiculous, but to be honest, if we want to kind of go with the 99 team structure, we had Teddy Sheringham, who would make his cameo every now and again. We've had the likes of Ibrahimovic and Henrik Larsson, etc. So it's always good to have a veteran on board. But with Cavani, to be honest, his injury record is kind of ridiculous, to be honest, and probably a waste of money. To be fair, he has saved us a few times on occasion, but I don't think his heart's really in it. I mean, he'll definitely play for his country, but when it comes to United, it seems like he doesn't really want to push forward. But I mean, at his age, injuries is to be expected, to be honest. Anyway, so Rangnick points to Luis Diaz, who joined Liverpool on the 30th of January, and Vlahovic, who moved to Juventus on the 29th, and Alvarez, who will move to City in the summer after agreeing a deal on the 31st of January. Asked if he could have signed those players, he said, I don't know. But as I said, maybe we should have at least internally discussed it. At the time, United was still in the FA Cup and the Champions League and were favourites to secure a place in the top four. 2 years earlier, they had gone into the January market to sign Ighalo on loan, when the boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had his forward options restricted through injury. Maybe I should have pushed even more, said Rangnick. It would have been short notice, but 48 hours is 48 hours. It might have been at least worth to try and internally discuss it. It might have been necessary and important. We didn't. It was not done. The decision has cost United financially, given that they are now virtually certain to finish outside the top four at best, find themselves in the Europa League next season, or perhaps the Conference. However, privately, club sources say the option was resisted because anything spent in January would have come out of the forthcoming summer transfer budget. At this time, no decision has been made over Solskjaer's replacement, so it could not be certain whoever it was would agree with the new addition. Yeah, but you could have loaned someone. I mean, look at the state of us now. We're relying on Ronaldo, although, you know, one of the best in the world. You can't play every game at that top level, given his age. There's no backup. You sent Martial away. Rashford's not in form. Elanga is coming through, but I mean, not enough experience. We haven't got a solid number 9, to be honest, apart from Ronaldo and Cavani, but we've already discussed Cavani's issues. Quite ridiculous, to be honest. And again, we have to blame the board. I mean, Rangnick, what's the point of his position if he doesn't even have any, you know, say in who he can buy, or, you know, any kind of solution to the problem? So what's the point? I mean, I fear this same thing will happen to him in his consultancy role, to be honest. There's also some drama with Lingard, but who really cares at this point? He's going to leave. So yeah, we move on, to be honest. So that's it for us, and we'll be back soon with more United
Old
news.
Trafford point of view.
Giant on my beat. Love.